Good afternoon, good evening, Harlem and the Harlems of the world. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. And as many of you know, we started at the onset of COVID, and we are still here. We consider ourselves an essential service. We are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. And it is really, really important that we tell our own stories and we make sure that our community is informed, engaged, and called to action. So as we approach Juneteenth, we are getting ready for our Harlem Juneteenth celebration. And I am very grateful to have once again Brother Ade Rasul that is here with us, and he's going to let us know who he is, whose he is, and his connection to the Harlem Juneteenth parade event, very significant. So just say hello to Harlem and Harlems of the world, Brother Ade.
Yeah, peace be upon you, Terri, and your listening audience, your viewing audience. I'm so excited to be here because the last time I saw you, you was crossing 125th Street during the
Right.
Carnival Parade.
Documenting the parade. We were
And
on
you
the
lifted
scene.
my day when I saw you, and you told me the wave shout out to the people. You surprised the heck out of all of us coming in between those cars on a historical 125th Street. My name is Ade Rasul, and I am the Juneteenth coordinator for Masjid Malcolm Shabazz. Our Juneteenth committee has been planning our 31st annual Juneteenth celebration. So we've been doing this for 30 years now. As a matter of fact, we are the oldest Juneteenth committee and program in New York City. So Harlem can be proud of us. Harlem has an historical first to our programming because we are the oldest city committee, Juneteenth committee, that have been operating now going on 31 years. So we're very grateful that we were able to, even during the pandemic, we were able to continue to perform Juneteenth activities. We didn't have the complete street festivals, but we had the march. We had a march, and we also commemorated the march afterwards with a Juneteenth presence. So we're grateful that we didn't miss a beat, and we anticipate a very exciting program this year. There's some updates. Hopefully, when you ask the questions I can give you, that's going to make you so excited,
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News, and we're here speaking about Juneteenth with Brother Ade Rasul, who is chairing the Juneteenth events here in Harlem. But I think it's very significant when we as a people are able to keep these traditions. And we have several traditions. We have Juneteenth, 31 years. We have the International African Arts Festival coming up. We have the African American Day Parade that happens in Harlem. We have Harlem Week. We have Kwanzaa. We have Dr. King's birthday, Brother Malcolm X's birthday, Sister Betty Shabazz's birthday. So we have traditions. We are keeping the traditions. And that is a very, very critical and significant thing. And we have to continue to pass the baton. So if you would share, Brother Ade, and just first of all, because we don't want to make any assumptions, what is Juneteenth? We want to make sure if we got 9-year-olds that are listening, we want to make sure that they know, or even older people, because we know that a lot of our history has been lost and we don't know it. So if you could share what Juneteenth is, and then talk about how Juneteenth got started here in Harlem. As you say, you're the oldest Juneteenth committee in New York City, and maybe the state. So just tell us, what is Juneteenth, please?
I wish we could credit ourselves for the state, but we just found out
Okay.
that Buffalo got us by a few years.
All right now.
Buffalo, and we're not mad at them.
No.
We're in a competition and a race towards all that is good. But we're happy to say that we are the oldest Juneteenth committee operating out of Harlem, New York, the traditional village of Harlem, under the auspices and leadership of Masjid Malcolm Shabazz. Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration of the ending of slavery. It dates back to 1865. It was on June 19th that the Union soldiers landed in Galveston, Texas, and many of the Union soldiers were of African American descent, by the way. The
All
Union
right.
soldiers, yeah, they was led by Major Gordon, and they came and informed the enslaved because it was 2 years and a half after the Emancipation Proclamation that in Galveston, Texas, slavery still existed. And not just in Galveston, Texas, but according to the history in other southern states. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed on paper, but however, 2 or 3 harvest seasons took place before the enslaved realized that by law they were free. So when the Union soldiers came to Galveston, Texas, and informed the enslaved, the indigenous enslaved, that they were free, the slaves began to immediately celebrate this mark of freedom. And so June the 19th has been designated as Freedom Day across the country. Galveston, Texas, ever since the slaves was known that they were free, they began to celebrate. And Galveston, Texas has the oldest Juneteenth celebration in the whole country.
Wow.
Rightfully so. So we felt that there needs to be a time where we can come together as a people and commemorate our freedom and begin to designate a time and a date where we can review our history and also assess our current existence and plan for the future. Now, Juneteenth came to our presence here in Harlem. Imam W.D. Muhammad, the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may God be pleased with both of them and bless them for all of their good works that they've done in elevating our people. He decided that Juneteenth, and this was almost 31 years ago, he decided and encouraged his community. Now, you know, the community that he became the leader of was the former Nation of Islam.
Okay.
So the Nation of Islam, if most people are familiar with the Nation of Islam program, they always had an in-house program, meaning that they never really had community services. They never extended their services beyond their membership.
Okay.
So him and transitioning the Nation of Islam community, he encouraged his following. So this was a first on the part of the Nation of Islam. He encouraged his followers to embrace Juneteenth. We didn't start Juneteenth. It had already been started. Again, we mentioned the early beginnings in Galveston, Texas.
Yes.
So he encouraged us as a community, his followers across the country, to embrace Juneteenth. So that's immediately what we did. We didn't have any Juneteenth committee in the New York City area, so we started one. And we joined the Dr. Martin Luther King support group, interesting enough, because the Dr. Martin Luther King support group had initially started Juneteenth before we did.
Okay.
Yeah, they had started it and we had found out about it. So we joined efforts, but it wasn't a Juneteenth program. It was a Dr. King Fest program. Many people might recall it was in the Marcus Garvey Park. And so we combined with them and it became Juneteenth King Fest.
Okay.
And that's how we came into it.
Thank you. I love doing interviews because I always learn something.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So continue.
So it was about Malcolm and Martin coming together.
All right.
A lot of people know or hear about the differences that they had, but in actuality, they had a real friendship. Even Coretta Scott King and Betty Shabazz, both leaders left us. They still continue with a relationship. So this was a great opportunity. Here you got Malcolm X, Mosque or Masjid, and the Dr. Martin Luther King support group coming together and initiating the fantastic Juneteenth across the village of Harlem. So that's how we essentially started. Now we have grown, thank God. Our membership represents all walks of Harlem. We have our religious leaders, our Christian leaders. We have our non-Christian leaders. That's one thing about Juneteenth that we like. It fits everybody's genre. In other words, you don't have to be this way or you don't have to be that way to be a part of Juneteenth. It goes across the whole diaspora of our people. And so our committee represents the whole diaspora of our people.
That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. And you know, we had our last meeting last night before our great event, which is going to be this Saturday, June the 15th, 31st annual celebration. And I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk about that more in detail. But I just want to point out that we love working together so much that we miss each other, even during the time that we're going to take a break after this celebration. Folks have been talking about networking and doing additional services. You know, Harlem has a lot of needs. And so we don't want to just be one-sided and just address the Juneteenth need. Now we have evolved to become a pertinent organization that's interested in addressing other needs, since we have been so successful in doing the Juneteenth effort.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News. And I am here with Brother Ade Rasul. And we're talking about the 31st annual Juneteenth festival coming up right here in Harlem. And I learned some things. I'd like everybody to really take that in because it's very important. As Brother Rasul said, we have a lot of needs here in Harlem. There are economic needs, there are educational needs. You know, 70 years after separate but not equal, our schools in Central Harlem are separate and they're not equal. I mean, if they were separate and everybody was getting an equal education, that would be a different story. So just beginning with those building blocks, small businesses are in need. We have food insecurity, housing issues. We have so many issues. So I think it's just amazing that as you're pulling together a group that is interdenominational and, you know, just a range of all of the people that we have here, because it does take a village, that Juneteenth, which is actually official June 19th, and has, you know, in the past, I believe it's 2 years, 3 years, 2021, it's become a national holiday. So that's a powerful thing, because boots on the ground like Galveston, Texas, and Harlem and Buffalo really helped to make that happen, because there are things that we did not know in our history. We did not know Juneteenth until of recent for some of us. We did not know of Black Wall Street. We did not know of Hidden Figures. So that is why we, Harlem Network News and media, are important also, so we can get the word out to the people. It's very important. So thank you, Brother Rasul, for sharing how this event has come about. But I would like to know, since it has become an official holiday, how has that impacted your or our event? What has that done to what we're doing?
Very good. That's a great question. You know, we're happy to say this was the good news that I wanted to share with you, that this is the first Juneteenth event that we've been doing in the village of Harlem, that we had to literally cut off our vendors who are pre-registered and paid. We had to actually refuse additional vendors. So the enthusiasm around Juneteenth as a result of the holiday has allowed our ranks to swell to the point right now where I'm going to give your listening audience and your viewing audience a first. And that is that we're looking at extending our activities from the Malcolm X, 116th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard to Fifth Avenue. We're looking at extending it next year now. They're going from Adam Clayton Powell, 7th Avenue, all the way to Fifth Avenue. So we're looking at adding another block. It hurt us. I hurt our heart. You can probably hear it in my voice. When we refuse our people that want to participate in an event that the block just can't hold all of it.
Wow.
You know, and so we have, as you are well aware, we do the parade. We have the Juneteenth parade that marches and walks throughout Central Harlem. And then we start at 116th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard. We proceed to 8th Avenue. We go down to historical 125th Street. We come across 125th Street, as you know,
Yes, yes.
You know,
I,
our
I was
route.
on 125th
That's
Street,
right. We saw you
right
shouting
there
out
at
last
Adam
year.
Clayton Powell Junior
That's right.
Boulevard.
And then
This year,
we
I'm
come.
gonna be in a different location, but I'm
Okay,
gonna be.
beautiful. Yeah,
Thank
so surprise us because you showed surprised us last year. That
you.
was
Okay.
you come on out. So and then we come back to 126th Street coming up Malcolm X Boulevard going south. And
Okay.
then we have a full street festival from 116th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard to Fifth Avenue. We have 3 stages. And we added another stage this year, by the way. We have a main stage, which is on the Malcolm X Boulevard side with over 200 chairs. We have a
Okay.
jazz stage, which is in front of the Harlem Market. And we have a Rough Rider stage that's
Okay.
further down on the Fifth Avenue side of the block
Okay.
for our younger audience. And now we added this year a children's stage
Okay.
where we will be
Great.
doing our storytelling,
Mhm.
role playing, and acting out and giving out books to our children about
Very
our heroes
important.
and our sheroes. And we have many writers that are coming through that's going to be reading their books to our children.
I love it.
And also on that end, we have our double dutch tournament. We have our basketball tournament. We also have face painting. We have the bounces for the children. I mean, the children just have a ball down that end.
Nice.
I'm working my way up the block now, just to give you a
Okay. Now,
visual.
where is the children's? Because I kind of missed that. I know Rough Riders is on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
from as we're going up from Fifth Avenue going up to Malcolm X Boulevard. You got
Okay.
Rough Riders got a quarter of the block.
Okay.
Then the youth have that other quarter of the block. That's where the
Okay.
to
Nice.
run. That's where the double dodges run.
Okay.
That's where the
I
face
love
paint
it.
is done. That's where all of the bouncy bounces is at. All the
Mhm.
giveaways to give out toys to the children. They do quizzes. We do
Okay.
They read stories and then we give them quizzes at the end and we give them prizes.
Nice.
It's a whole learning experience. But we're adding an actual performance stage, a small platform down there this year, where there will be read stories and they'll act out stories, you know.
I love
And
it.
as we go further up is where our vendors are at. Now this year we want to really invite all of our men. You know, Father's Day is the next day. It's the 16th.
Absolutely.
So we want to
Absolutely.
invite all of our men to give themselves a present and get prostrate tested. We have a prostrate cancer van that's going to be there. That's going to
Nice.
all of the men. So we encouraging all of the men to give themselves a present and get their prostrates tested. As you know, prostrate is a serious issue amongst our diaspora, and we want to make sure that our men are getting it checked out because early diagnosis is very effective. So we have an actual van that's going to be there in addition to the other health service providers that are there from Harlem Hospital, Mount Sinai Hospital, Rayon. It's about 6 different hospital groups that will be available. And then we have our vendors. Now, as I told you before, this year we had to close the vendor. I literally called people and tell them that we will not be able to service them.
Wow.
Because the response was just that great. Normally it's the day of. This time it's pre-registered. They already registered. They already know what the assignments are. We have approximately over 50 vendors. That means food, clothing, whatever you need. So you folks that are listening, y'all should come on out with a few dollars and let's circulate that money amongst each other. So
Yeah,
come
let's
on out. There's some
circulate it
marvelous
among the
things.
community. That's
Absolutely.
very
There's some
critical.
marvelous things that items that you can purchase. In addition to food, we have food vendors that will be able to provide our traditional food that we can get a chance to eat, break bread, and talk with one another. And then we have, of course, our jazz stage. We have our jazz stage coordinated by Dr. Satchmo Manan.
Yes,
Most people
Dr.
have heard
Milan.
about him, and he's been
Yes,
playing all
yes.
over Harlem.
He's amazing. I love
Absolutely, you know, keeping Louis Armstrong legacy alive.
Absolutely.
So he has his performances on that stage. And of course, we have our main stage under a big tent. I said it's 200 chairs that's under that tent, where our grand marshals will be honored. Elected officials are scheduled to be there. This year, leading the parade with our state senator, who has been with us through thick and thin, through the rain, through the when nobody wanted to be with us, when she wasn't the senator, when she wasn't the district leader, when she was just homegirl from the neighborhood, that's Senator Cordell Clare. She is all the kudos to her and her sacrifices. She lived right around the corner and she has been with us once again through thick and thin. So she's always leading our parade. In addition, this year we have Councilman Yusef Salam.
Okay, yes.
Who also is no stranger, you know,
Right. First year as a councilman.
but prior to him even becoming a councilman, he
Mhm.
attended our event last year. So we're
Okay.
very excited
Mhm.
to have these wonderful people join our effort. Now, Terry, we
Mhm.
know, like you know, we when you struggle to do good things, but you hang in there, and I hope God bless you with the finances to sustain
Yes.
yourself. Because we
Yes.
don't get any city, state, or federal funding. We haven't gotten any city,
Right.
state, or federal
Yeah. And a
funding.
lot of our activities do not.
Absolutely.
So it is, as you said, about circulating the money.
Absolutely.
We encourage everybody, if you watch Harlem Network News, please subscribe to our channel. Please donate if you can. Think about becoming a sponsor, because we really have to take it to the very next
Absolutely.
level. It's
Absolutely.
very critical that we know about these things. And a lot
Yeah.
of our events are not really covered by mainstream TV. So
Absolutely.
a lot of people are just not informed. And as we know, knowledge is power.
Mhm.
Brother Rasul, would you just share who the Grand Marshals are this year and what a Grand Marshal is? What is the significance of a
The
Grand
unique
Marshal?
thing about our parade, which is
Mhm.
very different from mostly all the other parades, is that we have community folks that nominate the heroes and the sheroes. And they're
Okay.
usually people that don't get a whole lot of recognition, but they do this work every single day. They are our mentors, our supporters. They are our neighbors, our friends. They're the ones that sustain our different villages that we have across this country. And so we try to put emphasis on our grand marshals being folks who are community folks, who are community receptive and community active. And all of our grand marshals at the end of the parade get an honorary seat on our committee. So we
Oh,
want them to keep working. We don't want them to just
okay. Yeah,
come
that's very
and be
important.
recognized
Very
and just
important.
leave us.
Very
No,
important.
we want you to join the effort so that we can continue to expand. So again, this year we have the honorary judge, Michelle Sweeting,
Okay.
very
Nice.
dynamic young woman. Matter of fact, Senator Cordell Clear had a program with the judges about 2 months ago, and she was
Mhm.
one of the panelists, and she did such a wonderful job talking to the young women. It was a program
Okay.
designed for young women, and she
Mhm.
did such a wonderful job there. And her mother, by the way, is on our committee. Her
Okay.
mother was
Wonderful. All
Mary
in the
Sweeting,
family.
was honored last year, and
Mhm.
she's a very known activist with the Bahamian
Mhm.
Society, the Bahamian in the
Mhm.
Bahamas. So she's been
Okay.
very active, and
Mhm.
so it's good to see that both families are going to be there. As a matter of fact, I need to give her a shout out because she just got through getting her degree.
Okay.
So she just got her degree, and so we're very happy. Just go to show you that knowledge that you indicated earlier in your statement, knowledge is not limited to age,
No.
it's not limited at all. And she's a good example of how she had put her children through school and they have become successful. And then she didn't leave them out there. She also competed and went to school, and now she's very successful.
Okay.
So
I love it.
we have uh, uh, Mitchell Shattuck, most people don't know him, but he used to be a community board member. He's working with the Central Park Conservatory, doing a lot of things in regards to the conservatory for Central Park, representing us
And
very
who is
well.
that? I'm sorry, repeat that.
His name is Shattuck.
Shatik. Yes.
Shatik, right?
Shatik.
Shatik. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Shatik. You know him. Yeah, these names are
Yes.
ringing a
Yeah. I
bell
was
for you,
on
right?
community board for 2 years.
Absolutely,
Shatik.
that's him. Well,
Yes.
he's
Yes.
one of our
Excellent.
unknown
Beautiful.
heroes and sheroes. That's
Nice.
one of our grand marshals. Uh,
Mhm.
we got Elder Diane Anderson. You might know her. She's a very well-known activist.
Mhm.
She carries so many different hats.
Wow.
She's just a typical example of a mother.
Mhm.
I mean, she works with the mentally ill. I mean, reverend. She's a ordained reverend in her own way. And another gentleman is very interesting, Dr. Hemant Patel. A lot of you might not know him by his name, but he's the one that running many of the clinics. The clinics
Okay.
that are in Harlem.
Mhm.
He served the underprivileged. He trained doctors. Matter of fact, he's out the country right now
Mhm.
training doctors in Africa. So he
Wow.
has been contributing to Harlem in a very quiet way. for a very long time, and he is of Indian, if I'm not mistaken. He's of Indian descent.
Okay.
You know, our diaspora go across
our diaspora is very
absolutely
wide.
all generations,
Very,
all
very
nationalities.
wide.
So we don't just limit Juneteenth to just us. You know, so many
And
people have helped
we
us.
know that
Last year, as a matter of fact, we were very excited to give our first to honor our first Grand Marshal, who was of Jewish descent.
Okay.
Lou Zuckman, as a matter of fact, who has been actively involved. He runs Scan Harbor, and he was so actively involved in the civil rights movement, got arrested, got beat up, you know. So his history earned him the right to be a Grand Marshal because he sacrificed and labored hard for us at a time when it wasn't popular for people who didn't look like us to join that picket line and to receive the same abuse that we was receiving. So we were honored last year to be able to honor him, to again set the precedent, you know, that we got people that have helped us from all walks of life, you know, and we need to continue celebrating all of them. Just to move quickly, if I can, we have Bill Moore. Many people know him. He has been a photographer for the Amsterdam for decades.
Shout it out.
That's right, for decades.
Yes. Brother Bill Moore.
That's right. We got another Dr. Lena L. Green. She's a mental health doctor, a very humble sister that a lot of people don't know. That's a community person that has been helping the mentally ill before it became popular, you know. And now Senator Cordell Clear gave us 2 business Grand Marshals. One is our sister from Make My Cake, Joanne Baylor, and also Charles Gabriel. I believe he came up with the special chicken. He has a special chicken restaurant in Harlem. And so we want to make sure every year that we include our business.
Very, 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 very important.
Absolutely, our business people.
Very important. And, you know, as we, of course, salute our ancestors, we know that Brother Leroy Baylor transitioned, and he was a great media person, you know, on public access and the station at City College, and worked tirelessly during COVID with podcast The Wisdom Table. So it's all a circling family, and I know he's watching over.
That's right. And you mentioned COVID, you know, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because first of all, we want to congratulate you. You know, COVID was a trying time for many of us, many organizations and our prayers go out to all of those who were victims of COVID and are no longer with us. But many of the organizations and groups shut down. They wasn't able to sustain themselves after COVID, but COVID gave birth to groups like yourself.
Yes.
And also, believe it or not, but COVID also gave birth to, in addition to some other factors, to Juneteenth becoming a national holiday.
Okay.
We never anticipated, because you had asked that question about, you know, our anticipations. When we first started, Imam Muhammad gave us a direction to start Juneteenth, and we continued under the local leadership of Imam Pasha at the mosque at 116.
Yes.
We didn't anticipate that Juneteenth was going to become a national holiday in our lifetime. We didn't see that, because it gave a small birth, and it wasn't catching on as fast as it could have caught on across the country. Although there was a lot of national efforts, but the average person, even today, the average person don't know what Juneteenth is.
Right. Yeah, that's why this show is so important. And that's why in the whatever way I can, Harlem Network News will be there to cover the you know, events, the parade, interview people, so you know it can push out and more and more people will attend. I know we don't.
I just wanted to finish this point, because it's important.
Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
But it's a very important point. It was a result of COVID and George Floyd. The incident with George Floyd that brought the sensitivities to our plight around the world. There were demonstrations of George Floyd around the whole world. And the young people woke up, and their demonstrations and their cry, you know, for justice here in America is what tilted the needle, in my opinion. And see, God has a way of ushering things, and we don't have no control over it. So God ushered in Juneteenth in our lifetime, and I'm so happy that that has happened, because now that gives us the energy now and the impetus to continue to put all that we need to put. It's not a day, I must tell our audience, It's not a day to take off. It's not a day for shopping. It's not a day to just sleep all day long. This is a very important day. This is a day of freedom for us. And we need to take advantage of that day and make sure that we don't make any other day like that day, because that represents our history and our freedom and our contribution here in America. And we should never forget that, where we came from. And here's an opportunity for us to highlight where we came from and our struggles and our contribution to America and our assessment as to where we need to go in the future. Because the freedom movement is not over.
No,
it's not over by no stretch of the
absolutely is
imagination.
not. This is Harlem Network News. I'm Terri Wisdom. I'm here with Brother Ade Rasul, and we're speaking about Juneteenth. And thank you for sharing that, because a lot of the things that we fought for and, you know, we received have rolled back.
That's right.
You know, and I'm in agreement with you about COVID and George Floyd and all of the, you know, Black people that were killed during that time. And there's to me, it's a list of people, and the Black Lives Matter movement.
Absolutely.
Really, I feel like COVID was horrific, but I also feel like, as I say, it took the scab off the wound.
Beautiful.
Okay, we all already knew what was happening in our community, but when COVID came, it highlighted, you know, what was going on. More Black people died. Harlem Network News started because Black folks were walking around Harlem saying, "I'm Black, I can't get it." And why were they saying that? Because they did not see themselves on mainstream media, and they did not get the information. And they didn't trust the information, which is why we had on so many doctors of color. But if you would just continue along that stream, and I know our time is tight, but if you would just share, like, what time does it start? You gave the route. Who are some of the floats and people that are going to be involved? You know, just a few. And how can folks find out more about it, support, and participate?
Thank you so much. You ask the right questions all the time. You know?
I try.
You are the right woman for this job, and we really appreciate you. You know.
Thank you.
Again, Juneteenth is the 15th. That's this Saturday. We start out with our parade. The parade starts at 11 a.m. sharp. The parade will kick off from 116th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard and proceed to walk throughout Central Harlem. We have 14 floats in the parade. We have 4 marching bands. We have numerous CBOs that will be walking. Once we get back to the block on 116th Street and Malcolm X Boulevard, our festivities will begin. We'll begin with our formal program, and you're absolutely right. We have Watley performers, young people that are going to be singing the National Negro Anthem. We have one of our major bands that lead the parade that will be playing behind them. Playing the Star Spangled Banner, playing God Bless America. This is a whole 75-piece band that's doing it. That's how we open the program up. And we begin to honor our honorees. And we have entertainment that's going to go on. We call it educational entertainment, cultural entertainment that's going to go on from approximately 1:30 p.m. until 6 p.m. So the block will be opened up from 11 to 6 p.m. We call it our street fair. Please come out. Please bring your family and your friends. It's a family day. Please bring your families. That's one of the things that happened during slavery when many of the slaves found out that they were free. The first thing they did, many of them, was number one, pull out a book, because you know the consequences for reading at that time was that you would get lynched. They would pull out a book, and the second thing that they would do, that was just as significant, was to try to find their families. Absolutely. Families was broken up and shifted all around, so they were free enough now to start to reunite with their families. So that's one of the things that we need to do. And we need to strengthen our families. Our theme for Juneteenth is ethnic excellence within the African-American family.
I love it.
So
I love it.
We hope that people can come out. Please share. You can contact us by phone at 212-662-2200, 212-662-2200, or you can visit our Juneteenth website. It's JuneteenthCelebrationNYC.org. Juneteenth Celebration, NYC.org. And last but not least, you can also email us. You know, if you want further information, you got any questions, at Juneteenth Celebration NYC@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think it covers everything. And
Yes, ma'am.
as Brother Rasul said, the parade is going to start, I believe, on 116th by Malcolm X Boulevard at 11 o'clock. It'll start off with the Lift Every Voice and Sing, and the band behind it, and then all the floats will assemble. So it's a powerful thing. And then it's got to, you know, go straight across 116th. It'll go over to Frederick Douglass, quote, 8th Avenue, and then over to 125th, and then across 125th, and back down to back down Malcolm X to 116.
Absolutely.
And then at 1:30, all the other street activities will begin.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's a great day in Harlem, as every day. I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News, and I'm uplifted by this because this work is hard, and you know, at points you can feel like a bit disappointed, like how, where, but you can't give up. As the great Marcus Garvey said, forward ever, backward never.
Beautiful. And
that's pretty much how we stand. And then, of course, our other quote, James Baldwin, so goes Harlem, so goes the world. And it definitely takes a village. So thank you, because I know this is crunch time, but we appreciate you coming on, and we will be out there covering the parade. And reach out to Harlem Network News at gmail.com, harlemnetworknews.org. You can reach us directly at 646-261-5397. Make a donation. That's a great thing that helps us to keep going. It will help us to expand. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for space, a building, so we can really take things where we want to take it and tell our own stories. If you have a story, reach out to us. We're willing to share it if you have a talent. And I'm so happy to see that Brother Bill Moore is one of the Grand Marshals, along with Dr. Yusef Salam, Cordell Clear, but Brother Bill Moore is in the trenches, taking those pictures for the answer. He is there. He has covered Harlem Network News fundraiser. He has covered my partner's son, Haile King Ruby, who, you know, we call him the Basquiat of Harlem. So Brother Bill Moore is on the scene. Unsung hero. I love it. So thank you so much, Brother Ade Rasul.
Thank you. And we love you, and keep up the good work.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Harlem and Harlems of the world. Thank you.